I'm going to put a little bit of footage in, but this field here, which is pretty big, was a wheat field, and it was harvested in August, I think. I have to check the date, but now let's have a look where the wheat was. All the I don't know what they call wild daisies or whatever, big daisies, have basically covered the whole field in daisies. Little birds everywhere. I don't know if I can get one. Little birdies catching the bugs. There's buzzards around. I've already had a buzzard. He's a bit too far away. Oh, you little bugger. Little chirpy birds. But anyway, we're going to go for a walk and see what we can capture. But what a beautiful afternoon. You can see there big moody clouds, but the sun's staying out, and it probably will disappear behind. Oh, we've got a nice look at that. We've got a big gap in the clouds, which should be nice. I love these old English country lanes. Bloody hell, look at the size of this. That's what you call a mushroom. Holy crap, that's my hand. It's bigger than my hand. That's cool, we'll have to get some shots of this. Sun's on it. Nice. Look at that for a little mushroom. Pretty big. So anyway, old English country lane. So, not used very often obviously. And you see things like that, random huge mushroom. Mushrooms aren't really my thing, but I know some people like eating them. So anyway, we're going to wander down here and see what we can capture. I'm going to look around for interesting things to look at. I'm always looking up, down, left and right, and to make sure, look behind me, because there's certain views and things like that that may be worth photographing. And if you're walking this way and you haven't looked behind you, it could be the best shot in the world. I mean, imagine if there was a sunset happening and you know, you could see, you know, the best shot in the world. So lots of birds of prey around at the moment. Got the RX-10 Mark IV with me today, mainly because I can literally take the Pocket 3 with me, which is in my hand, filming, microphone clip to me, which is connected to it directly, and the RX-10 on my back. And lightweight, got loads of options of what I can do, no lens swapping, and the light is nice. Got fast lenses, or a fast lens, and the world is ours. You know, it's things like this. So I'm seeing little things like that. So these leaves here, and it's difficult to show on here without me dulling down the exposure. But there you go, you can see basically a little bit of light hitting there, which could look really good on camera. So I'm going to swap to the RX-10 and take a couple of shots of it, depending on which bit. Some might be a bit better than others, depending on what we're looking at. But yeah, it could be a worthwhile, interesting shot. So we've got a bit of forestry work in progress, I can't even speak. So I don't know what they're up to. Probably coppicing or whatever. Or wood management, as they call it. Yep. Definitely gone through there. Wow. So this is an old English lane, and it's pretty much disused. Obviously tractors and stuff probably go up and down it. But as you can see, you wouldn't want to bring a car down here really. When I say country lane, it is a private road, but obviously probably hundreds of years ago it was probably public. It's got a public footpath running down through it, so it's quite nice, but it's very picturesque down here. It's definitely worth a little wander down here and have a little adventure. We might see something, might not, who knows. So the sun is being nice to me for once, which is very good. Trying to stay active, trying to stay positive in the world of that we live in today is probably more difficult. As we see so much misery everywhere around the world now, getting out with a camera, somewhere like this where it's very peaceful, just away from everyone, anything, appreciating wildlife and nature is, I think, one hell of an important thing to do. It's one, doing stuff like this, just going for a walk, even if you're on your own, if with friends, family or whatever, and you have a camera, even if it's just a mobile phone, which obviously mobile phone cameras are very good nowadays, it allows you to capture cool things. And you know, looking around, you've got interesting trees like this, which has got the vines and stuff growing up it, you know, things like that. So that's always a bit of texture. Still got butterflies flying around, which is quite amazing. But it's quite windy, so the likelihood of that actually landing on anything is quite remote, but it has. So not to get my shadow on it, which was almost on it actually. The it's probably going to bugger off if I get anywhere near it, but I'll zoom in a little bit. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, I thought he might. But I got a couple of shots of it, so that's cool. You can see here moody sort of fluffy clouds, which look pretty cool. Bit of texture in the sky always looks nice. If it's just blue with not a cloud in the sky, I find it very boring. So when we've got nice fluffy clouds, or even moody, angry sort of storm clouds, I think it adds to the shots that you're taking sometimes. So I just find it hilarious that this was actually a tarmacked road. It was a tarmacked road, and that's what's left of it. I mean, that could make quite a cool shot, to be fair. Let's get rid of that bit of branch, but that as a thing is quite interesting. This is where the old camera now, the RX10, plays a massive part in my photography, especially, and other people's as well, is that we can go for walks, hikes, trips or whatever, and actually not have to carry that much with you. You know, if you're shooting fully professionally, you know, I would use the A1 generally because I'm doing a job, being paid money and stuff like that. The RX10 can cope with that. It's not really an issue, but when I've got the A1, which is incredible, you know, the quality is that much higher and is actually more capable in some respects as well. It, you know, you'd use the best, wouldn't you? It's a bit like, you know, picking a taxi over a jet plane to go halfway around the world. What would you pick? So, yeah, anyway, just getting out and being creative. I think that's, one's motivating for general life, and actually, two, just enjoying yourself. You know, oh, you buzzard. Where's he gone? Oh, he's carried on going. That was annoying. It just proves it doesn't matter what camera you've got. An A1, a Nikon Z8, Z9, Canon R5, R1, does that even exist yet? I can't remember. The RX-10, if it's on your back and you're not ready, you're going to miss the shot, which there was a buzzard literally 10 meters to the right of me. So anyway, yeah, it is the thing. But that's, I mean, that's one downside, I guess, with the RX-10 is it takes a little time to turn on and zoom out to 600. But generally, you know, it does pretty well. So we've got, next thing I've spotted is these things, fluffy type things, seeds or whatever, and there is bugs flying around. So if I was to stand here a while, we might see another butterfly or even a dragonfly possibly buzzing around, which there's quite a lot of flies and bees and stuff flying around, so who knows. But let's carry on. When I'm talking about motivation and, you know, getting out places like this and actually photographing the wildlife and nature and things like that, and there's certain times of the day which you might work better than others, you know, sunset happening or sunrise. I generally go for sunrise because once the sun sets, it's dark. Yes, you can go into astro stuff if it's a nice night and everything, but generally up for the sunrise, it's then, you know, daytime. So you can actually get out and capture more things. So getting up early and actually appreciating a lot of things sometimes, it could be well worthwhile. So I might actually have to wander down here an early morning at some point soon, especially when the mist, it's a bit misty and whatever. But yeah, talking about the motivation side of things, getting up, getting out, motivating yourself to go and do stuff. One, we know it's good for the mental health and, you know, all that sort of stuff. But recently, I've been so busy doing stuff that I've actually lost the motivation to do the videos for YouTube. And you'll see there's been a bit of a gap. One, I shot as a guest, one of my best, well, not say best friends, but very, very, very good friend, Phoebe. She got married in France. I was a guest, but she knew I was going to take cameras with me, and I filmed over 300 gigs worth of footage, photos and video, mainly because the location was absolutely incredible. So it was well worth it. The trip down there was pretty cool. Sadly, the weather was a bit iffy. So yeah, interesting to say the least. So the water is pouring down through here. That's oh, spiky bush. Ah. We can't see through here, sadly. But that's quite a cool shot. An old wheel, the old thingy. That's quite a cool photo opportunity there. I know we're looking straight into the sun a bit, but that could be quite cool as it is. Keep off the log stacks, but we now have an opportunity to find an interesting log. Well, the stack itself looks quite cool. If you look down there as a shot, that look quite cool. But there could be ones that are sadly not in the sun, but this side there might be. But let's take a bit of a shot there. Shooting at f5.6 to make sure I've got pretty much everything in focus. Do we have a log that jumps out at me that's clean and got interesting circles on it? To be fair, that as a wall of logs looks pretty mental anyway. So I may just zoom in a bit so we don't have anything other than the logs. There we go. And then look for one. What I want is it's perfectly level, so it literally is dead on me. There's one, I would say. Anyway, zoom in on it. Back out a little bit. And then shoot straight at it. And then we've got old oaks and things over here which have got moss and things growing on them, which could be interesting because you'll probably get wildlife and stuff, one living on it and one landing on it, so it's a bit quiet here for the birds, it seems. But sadly the chainsaws cutting through here leave a really harsh sort of saw cut. You can see there on those two there, and well, they're all of them pretty much, or that one, you can see the sort of crossword cutting. So yeah, a little bit limited on that. I've just seen a leaf falling, which would have been cool. I do love the smell of freshly cut pine though. So we've got water here. Can we get a reflection shot? This is what I'm thinking, you know, this is what I'm trying to sort of recommend to people is you don't really have to go very far. How are we looking? Sadly, there's not much light on them, so it wasn't going to look that great. But it's worth a look, isn't it? Bit of inspiration, and hopefully you can get more from your camera. The more you use it, especially if you're learning. But then we're learning every day. So if anybody thinks they're better than anyone else, yeah, you possibly are. But it doesn't mean you're perfect. And, you know, that's me. You know, I'm not perfect by any means. But many years of experience of messing with cameras, experimenting, being out. You know, the old film days, we used to go out and we would not waste film. You would think about your shots very carefully. You would, like, you know, compose everything and be like, right, I think that's correct. I think that's going to be as good as it's going to be. And then you develop them and everything like that, and then you get them back and you go, that's a shame, it wasn't. But that's the learning curve. So you learn from your mistakes. So I'm looking here at the moment with the little track that sort of goes, snakes through. There's tree branches and stuff that may help the shot. No, and we'll take it, and it might look right in black and white maybe, but you don't really know until you try. So anyway, let's carry on. We're heading slowly towards an old derelict farm cottage, which is an old stone cottage, and I just want to see how that's looking, because someone was rebuilding it, but it wasn't having anything done to it. It looks like it's going to fall down at the end of the day because it's so badly cracked and everything in the wall. It's you know, not necessarily a saver, sadly. I don't really know. And it's in the middle of nowhere. There's no access to it, so there's no road access to it at all. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's a public footpath that walks past it, but other than that, there's nothing. You'd have to go through fields and fields and fields to get to it, and that's okay if the farmer says it's the farmer who owns the land. If that's okay, I presume, unless there's a thing called reasonable access. I'm not sure, but you wouldn't get a lorry there or anything like that with delivering stuff. It would have to be manually moved or via tractor and trailer. So yeah, it's properly in the middle of nowhere, which is where I am at the moment, a bit in the middle of nowhere. So anyway, check this out for the poshest public footpath. nicely mown. Grass. I'm not going to show you left or right because it's someone's private property, but a very stunning mansion, which is really cool. Oh, they've got Shetland ponies. Might take some pictures of those though. And a really nice lake down here. It's got a huge water slide in it as well. Which is cool. This may have been originally a country lane. It's just grass. But the fact that it goes from a thin footpath into a wide, as such, country lane could mean this had some kind of access years ago. But who knows? But the old cottage has still got a roof. It's still got scaffolding on it. But we'll have a little look. It did have beehives, or a beehive at least, if I remember correctly. But we'll see. I mean, if you want to live somewhere that's got no neighbours and it's bloody quiet, but a bit of a mission to get to. I mean, it's taken me from the main road half an hour, maybe more, to walk here, and there's literally nothing other than down that public footpath from a mansion. It's yeah, interesting, to say the least. It's still there. It's quite a cool old building. But it looks like it's had some rendering done to it. Maybe I have saved it. You can hear some rushing water. I don't know, it's still looking pretty shabby, but maybe they have made it. I don't remember. It's proper cool. I mean, it's an old English cottage, as you can see here. Pretty mad. Blocked up doorway. But a huge crack, which I'll zoom in on, that runs all the way down the whole length of the building, which is pretty mad. But it's a cool old thing. But you can't get in it, and to be honest, I wouldn't want to. It's pretty knackered, but we'll take a picture from over here because it's probably the best angle for it. And I think I'm going to go up through that field there in a minute. But we'll have a look over here because the stream runs through here. A bit of sunshine on it. It does look cool. So the old cottage there, and the fact that we have probably not a neighbour as such, not another building for 500, 600, 700, 800 metres, something like that, maybe a bit further, is quite mad. It's just in the middle of nowhere. I don't know, would it be a farmer? I'm not really sure. It's quite mad. I mean, this is a public footpath that runs through and out the other side. There's a cool stream over here which we're going to have a look at. Probably it's proper flowing. It's definitely got some speed to it today. This is all the water we've had recently. So that's the steepness of the hill I'm climbing, apparently. But there we go. Right, we're heading off into quite a dark looking wood, to be fair, as we go up the hill. And yeah, so it's been a good walk actually. The weather's been pleasant. Probably got another 4 miles or so get back to the car. But yeah, it's kind of cool. So anyway, let's go and see what we can find in here. Hop over a stile. Don't know what you guys call it in America or whatever, but we call these a stile. And he's got a little flap there for the dog, if you're dog walking, to get through. Up we go. Step over. Yeah, into the woods. So there we go. I love mini adventures. They're really cool. Like exploring. One, places like this are wicked for photo shoots. You know, could be an old hut in here or something, an old shed, an old Second World War bunker. Could be anything in here. A really cool looking tree. Could be anything. So anyway, I'm going to carry on wandering and see what we find. Getting dripped on. Pretty cool wood, to be fair. I mean, there's not a lot going on in it, but it's quite spread out. Seems to be a natural wood. There's nothing, I mean, there's a little bit of coppicing possibly, or they're just small trees over there. Hard to tell, but kind of cool. Anyway. The fact that, I mean, that's bent over, that's nuts. So, I don't know, what? So that one that's behind it has fallen down, taken these with it, and they've bent and got pinned under there. That's pretty mad. Do I need to be behind the other side of the trees? That's the question. Fucking hell, they're low. Wherever they are. Because they're not even on the radar. And sadly, they're the other side of those trees. Which I don't think I'm going to get a chance to, well, I might, because that goes down quite a long way, so I'm not going to, they're below the radar, they're not showing up at all. So I came out of the woods there, got this fantastic field, and then it goes that way as well for quite a long time. Not like in the black clouds. Hopefully that buggers off. And we've got a old hedgerow there that can chirpy birds, which is good sign of wildlife. Ooh, got some sun rays beaming down there. I'll tell you what though, this Pocket 3, the DJI Pocket 3 camera, I bought, well, not far off when it first came out, because I thought, it'd be brilliant for this, brilliant for that. I'll tell you what, it is absolutely epic. The fact that you can obviously put a microphone on so you don't get the wind noise so much, stuff like that. I can put it on the back of my car, front of the car, side of the car, in the car, and it will track other vehicles or humans, stuff like that. One other thing as well is I'm still using the battery that's internal. I haven't got an extra plug-in or anything like that, and it seems to go for about an hour and a half or so. The fact you can fast charge it in 18 minutes as well really makes it so usable. Or you can put the actual extra handle on, which has got a battery in it. So it's such a usable bit of kit. You can hear the Chinook over there doing its thing. They never know, they might fly back doing their thing. But anyway, we're going to go now through this gate. Through the mud. Oh god, that was sandy clay. We're going through here. Cool off-road machine, 8-wheel drive. With a cab and everything that spins around. Pretty cool. So, randomly, a load of yellow flowers growing, which are quite pretty, and I've just photographed a couple. But they look pretty cool, don't they? Not a huge amount of wildlife wandering around with them, but who knows. Anyway, we are on a slight uphill, and the sun is now right in front of me, but it keeps going behind the clouds. It's a little bit annoying, but when it's right in your eyes, it's sort of like annoying. But it's like walking along, looking at what's around you. So if you're out looking for wildlife and stuff like that, obviously we've got to kind of listen. So having good hearing, so you can hear everything from a grasshopper rubbing its legs. I think it rubs its legs together to make noise. Can't remember, but doing that to, you know, listen to a buzzard up in the air, see whether you can find that, or a blackbird or a robin or a wren or something in the hedgerow. You know, you might spot bunny rabbit. There goes a blue tit. Chirp chirp, thank you. But sometimes it's impossible to find them or get the opportunity to try and photograph them, so you either have to stand around and wait. But obviously I'm out for a walk, so I'm trying to keep moving, but if I need to stop, I will for a while. But I know the opportunities aren't that great all the time. Also, have a look into fields, because you never know. You might look in here and go, wow, what a fantastic view. Sadly, it's a little bit limiting because it's got loads of trees the other side, but there could have been a load of deer in here, you know, wild boar, or depending on where you are in the world, there could have been other things as well. But that woodland in there looks nuts. Not that we can really see through, but a lot of it's been chopped back. So it does look quite interesting.